Trump's inauguration, inevitably, there's been a deluge of WT fuck moments. So we've collected the best of the worst for you. Buckle up.
Right. So the UK's very own basket of deplorables descended on Washington, D.C. to watch the ceremony. On the guest list of horrors was Suella Braverman, who was filmed by Channel 4 News wearing a MAGA hat and boarding the same flight as hard right activist Lawrence Fox.
It's an honour to be here, and I'm very grateful for the invitation for the inauguration.
You got a direct invitation from Mr. Trump.
And I'm very much forward to attending the rally tomorrow.
And you're here with Lawrence Fox as well?
We happen to be on the same flight.
Did you travel together?
Not actually confirming that she was invited.
Yeah.
It's got real... I never thought I'd see a comparison between Vince Vaughn and Suella Braverman, but it has real Wedding Crashers energy. It has real Wedding Crashers
It's funny
energy.
that was the film you went to, because the film I went to was Snakes on a Plane.
Braverman said that her and her husband happened to be on the same flight as Fox, but later Fox live streamed them walking through Washington, D.C. together. So, it's a very interesting claim to be like, no, we're not here together. We just happen to coincidentally be walking down the same street together while he live streams us.
Yeah, but it might be one of those, those awkward things where you walk along with someone that you work with and then, it turns out you're on the same train and now you have to chat.
That happens to us literally every week. That is the worst possible anecdote for my self-esteem that you could have released. That happened to us this morning.
I know.
On our way in.
I didn't.
We ran into each other on the tube on the way in.
It came out a lot cattier than I meant it. I just meant not that I'm trying to defend them or anything like that. But also part of
moving swiftly on. We're moving on from our awkward conversations with our irritating co-workers.
It's so mean. Imagine if I start calling you my co-worker. My co-worker Nish. Also part of the UK's right-wing exodus to DC was Nigel Farage, Priti Patel and Liz Truss. Truss posted a photo of herself on X wearing a MAGA hat with the caption, "In DC, the new Donald Trump term can't come soon enough. The West needs it."
For our American listeners, if you're looking for kernels of hope, Liz Truss being supportive of your political project feels like a curse.
Yeah, that's good.
Things that Liz Truss tends to get 100% behind tend to collapse quite quickly in our experience.
I'm still hoping that Tesla are going to hire Liz Truss just to have her Liz Truss effect. I just want that to happen.
Yeah, Nigel Farage, obviously the far right-hand man of many of the cronies involved. And also, Priti Patel, listen, if you're going to have a Tory MP turn up to meet with a foreign government, why not make it one who actually lost their job for doing that?
On a lighter note, despite travelling thousands of miles, none of this motley crew made it into the actual Capitol building itself to watch the ceremony firsthand. Boris Johnson was the only politician to make the cut from the UK. It must have left Trump whisperer Nigel Farage feeling pretty salty.
Also not in the room, Lawrence Fox, but he was forced to watch the inauguration from, and I sort of can't quite believe I'm about to say this, Kid Rock's hotel room.
Man.
Alongside his buddy, the right-wing priest, Calvin Robinson. I guess the incredibly selective Bible-reading priest, Calvin Robinson, who previously left the UK for the US in protest at what he called the satanic Keir Starmer.
Congratulations, Mr.
Oh, my God. It's sad, isn't it?
I don't really even know what to say. It's a failed actor, a failed vicar, and a failed rock star in a hotel room, which feels like the setup line to an awful joke.
I know, but the punchline is us, because this is the world we live in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Did you ever read that profile of Kid Rock in Rolling Stone?
No, I, where possible, try and avoid any mentions of Kid Rock.
Okay. Well, if any of our listeners are interested in a 3,000-word interview profile about Kid Rock, it's really good. It's a really good piece of journalism.
Right.
But in that, you get a portrayal of a man who is quite sad, quite lonely, and is just desperate for approval and is kind of getting it from the MAGA lot. And there's a moment where he's trying to impress this Rolling Stone journalist for reasons we don't understand. At the same time, he's also trolling this Rolling Stone journalist. Yeah. And he says, I've got Trump's number. And he phones the number and Trump doesn't answer. You can just imagine him just there he's going to answer. He's going to answer. He does not answer. And that is the vibe that I got there. Why are you in this room, my friend?
It's just nice sometimes to see a person whose politics are as awful as their music. Just a good double whammy for you there. He did make it onto the BBC News. That's Kid Rock, where whilst puffing on a cigar, he used the airtime to make creepy sexist remarks to the BBC's chief presenter, Katrina Perry.
I mean, I can't see you right now, so I don't know what you look like.
Well, I look like I'm ready to hit the slopes, I can tell you. I'm in full-on ski gear here with my hat, gloves, the whole thing, ready to rock, because you got to be wrapped up against the elements, don't you?
I love to go skiing. I love to go skiing. You sound sexy. You want to go with me?
Well, we won't get into that right here. So we're doing no skiing today. We've got a day of broadcasting to do.
Oh my God. That was painful viewing.
The MAGA movement is spearheaded by a man seemingly contemptuous of women as a gender. So it's maybe not surprising that like one of his sort of, in inverted commas, celebrity supporters just feels that, you know, he can sort of casually.
Yeah, it's totally emboldened to do that. I think
Yeah.
that's part of the celebration.
Unbelievably, this isn't the first time this has happened to this specific journalist. She was actually hit on live on air by Donald Trump himself. Here he is singling out Perry at a press event in the Oval Office 7 years ago in this clip from the BBC.
We have all of this beautiful Irish press. Where are you from?
I'm from RTE News. The
RTE.
Taoiseach will know me.
Oh, good.
Katrina Perry here. Taoiseach.
Katrina Perry. She has a nice smile on her face, so I bet she treats you well.
Ugh.
Oh my God. I really recognize that, like, ha 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 ha, walk away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, just smile so they don't, you know, hurt you and then walk away. It's really, sends kind of chills down my spine. I just hope, obviously, Katrina Penny's consummate professional, knows exactly what to do. And I'm just waiting for that moment where she's no longer as a representative of the press and can just let loose.
This is who they are.
Mm.
If you have a political movement spearheaded by a guy that does not respect women, this is exactly who they are. I feel incredibly sorry for Perry and all of these female journalists that
Yeah,
in the
for
line
sure.
of doing their job are going to have to sort of be confronted by these men. It's gross.
Yeah, it really is. And it sort of, you know, immediately raises questions about like women's safety in even covering this sort of stuff and covering these sort of men. No woman should be sexually harassed in the workplace. And that's sort of what we're witnessing, isn't it?
Yeah.
In front of us. It's just a very dispiriting thing to see.
I think with this political movement, the important thing is to not ignore all of the signs that it's showing you. The political movement is sort of infected with sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and racism. Like that is a huge part of who the kind of leaders of this movement are. You know, Musk stood on stage and essentially did a Nazi salute to a crowd. Let's not overthink it. Let's believe who they're telling us they are and start to articulate an opposition to it, because you can't push back against something you're not acknowledging the existence of. And I'm not being particularly coded in that. I am talking directly to the Labour Party. I appreciate the difficult position that a Labour government has been put into by this election result. I absolutely appreciate that. But at the same time, there has to be a better balance struck between maintaining the relationships between the US and the UK government and a supposedly progressive party not co-signing, you know, white nationalist, misogynist, homophobic Christian nationalism. Like, there has to be a way. There has to be a way for us to navigate all of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the most fun note to end the
No.
podcast on.
No.
It was funnier when you were making pass ags digs at me. We've got to go and get the tube home together now. How is that going to make me feel on that walk back?
It was honestly just a coincidence.
Are you going to fake a phone call?
It was a coincidence that the example I went to happened to be one from our lives. Okay.
From this morning.
From this morning. Yeah.